What if I told you the best defender in high school basketball history might also be the most complete two-way prospect since LeBron James? A high-flying 6'9" point forward with elite rim protection, next-level IQ, and a motor that never shuts off. Cooper Flagg isn't just the best basketball player in college, he's the blueprint for the modern NBA star. And I wanted to see what that looks like in NBA 2K25. But I didn't just slap some badges on a tall build and call it Cooper Flagg. Nah, I went deep. I broke down scouting reports, studied the film, and built the most accurate Cooper Flagg build on YouTube. This isn't just a build. This is what happens when potential meets precision. Let me show you what Cooper Flagg really looks like in NBA 2K25. When you check NBA.com's Bleacher Report and look at the draft big boards, you see Cooper Flagg's name next to Kevin Garnett's, and you might think it's just hype, but the more you look into it, the more it starts to make sense. KG entered the NBA straight out of high school with freakish length, elite timing, and a fire that made him a Hall of Famer. Cooper, he skipped a grade, reclassified early, and still dominated every level he touched. And let's just say if KG hit a growth spurt once he got to the league, who's to say Flagg can either? Now, let's be real. He's not a perfect prospect. He's not overpowering guys with strength yet, and he's not out here breaking defenders down with Kyrie-level handles. But even with those gaps, he's still drawing comparisons to Jason Tatum and Scottie Pippen. Jason Tatum's, polished scorer with size, versatility, smooth perimeter game. He came into the league with questions too, but the skill, the feel, the tools, those were undeniable. Then the Scottie Pippen comp, that one keeps coming up for a reason. Like Scottie, Flagg isn't just a lockdown wing. He's a defensive quarterback, always in the right spot, calling out rotations, making plays before they even happen. And it's not just instinct. This dude covers ground like a safety, guards 2 through 4, and still has the bounce to protect the rim. Offensively, he's not flashy, but he's efficient. His handle's solid, shots coming around, and he always makes the right read. That's winning basketball. If Scottie Pippen played in today's NBA with more spacing and freedom, he might look a lot like Cooper Flagg. Now, in this article titled Cooper Flagg, a number one of number ones, he's compared to every number one pick from 2015 through 2023, and the results are shocking. Offensively, he ranks more efficient than Wemby, Paolo Banchero, Cade Cunningham, and Anthony Edwards. He also posts one of the highest free throw rates of the group, meaning he draws contact, gets to the line often, and converts at a high clip. As a playmaker, Flagg has the second highest usage rate and the second best assist to turnover ratio of any of them, which is wild for someone who isn't a primary ball handler. Defensively, he's just as special. He has the third highest steal rate in isolation defense and the fourth highest block percentage, showing his ability to protect the rim while locking up wings on the perimeter. The only knock, he shoots just slightly below average from 3 compared to the group, but that's where context matters. His decision-making mirrors a point guard, his defense matches elite two-way wings, and he protects the rim like a first-pick big man. And when you consider that he's also more efficient than any of the other ball-dominant scorers on this list, this isn't just another elite prospect. Cooper Flagg is a different tier, a legit number one of number ones. All right, so hopping into the builder, I wanted to do something that would be as accurate as possible. I ended up making 2 different versions, both of them pretty accurate. The first being more accurate than the second, in my opinion. The second is going to be a little bit more 2K friendly. Okay. But just hopping straight into it, the first thing I wanted to do is really consider his measurements. I know he's 6'9" right now. He's at 205 with a 7'1" wingspan. I think he's going to continue to grow. Just like Kevin Garnett grew after he got drafted. This kid's only 18. When LeBron got drafted, he was listed at 6'8" straight out of high school. And now everybody says he's 6'9". I think the kid's going to grow to 6'10". Okay. I went ahead and put him at 207. So we threw a couple extra pounds on him, and I made his arms a little bit longer. I made it 7'3". Because if you go 7'1", if you look here, he only gets a 92 driving dunk. And so I went ahead and gave him a 7'3" wingspan because it's not going to hurt us in terms of our anything that we're doing with the build, and give him a little extra length doesn't, hurt anything defensively, obviously, or on the glass. So 6'10", 207, 7'3". Again, I think he's going to grow an inch. Now, just getting straight into it, we went with a 73 close shot, just to get that bronze paint prodigy, so you can efficiently finish under the rim, but you shouldn't be trying to go up over bigger players or anything like that. He's not a paint masher, right? He's a decision maker who slashes to the rim. He uses post moves. He's crafty, but he is a somewhat of a pass first player. Anyways, we go with a 80 driving layup, so he unlocks Giannis Antetokounmpo's layup package. And I wanted to give him a 90. I wanted to give him a 96 driving dunk, but his arms would have to be way off measurement. So we went with a 7'3" wingspan to keep him closer to accurate. We go with an 88 driving dunk here because we're going to use 5 cap breakers to give him a 60 standing dunk. And then it says 58 here. It's because it's tied to his vertical. That'll actually unlock a few dunk packages, including Zion's dunk package. So that 60 standing dunk's actually a really good threshold. Plus, you don't see him drop stepping, rising up, and doing contact dunks on people. That's not the way he plays. For post control, we went with a 77, which gives us a few different post badges, including the silver post-up poet badge. We'll also unlock post-fade phenom. We're going with a 78 mid-range to get that silver set shot specialist, and we'll also have silver post-fade phenom. We're going with a 75 three-point shot to unlock some takeovers. If you look at Anthony Edwards, which he had a similar shooting efficiency to Cooper Flagg at this point of his career, in 2K21, when Anthony Edwards was a rookie, he had a 74 overall three-point rating. So I feel like a 75 was a good spot that was fair, accurate, and also gave us some takeover access. As far as pass accuracy goes, I wanted the build to be able to shine in this area and not be lacking. I gave him an 83 pass accuracy, but the plan was to use cap breakers here to eventually give him an 87 on his pass accuracy, which I do believe will change the build name. So if you want to put something like, playmaker or point, whatever in his name, you'll probably get that opportunity once you raise his pass accuracy to an 87. Ball handle, I went with a 75. 74 gives you all the dribble moves you would need at a 6'10". 75 does unlock that bronze ankle assassin. So you do get Giannis Antetokounmpo crossover, which is real nice. And then with the speed with ball, we went 68 to give him bronze lightning launch. Doesn't give you the pro dribble style, but really no one uses that anyway. 60 is all you need for Zion if you want to do cross launches. I'll probably just end up using, if I make this build, normal dribble style because you get better launches going to the same ball hand. As far as interior defense, I wanted to complement his, soon-to-be 93 block rating. I gave him an 88 because I'm using 5 cap breakers on his block here to eventually make it a 93. And in order for you to unlock the paint patroller badge level, you have to have a 77 interior defense as well. So he gets gold paint patroller. He's not a post scoring lockdown. That is one of the weaknesses in his game right now. It's not a huge glaring weakness, especially in 2025 where you don't see many post scores, but he could stand to bulk up some more, which is why we gave him a 73 strength. Okay. And then 75 agility is what we need to unlock. At 83, you'll get silver pick dodger. We went with an 82 for now. We'll use a cap breaker here as well to give him 83 perimeter defense eventually for the silver pick dodger, which goes with that 75 agility. And then I went 79 on the steal. If you watch 2K Toots, he does a video showing at 75 steal, you unlock all the same animations for interceptor that you get at a 99 steal. So 75 is great. 79 is just enough to give us that silver glove. He does pickpockets, and I wanted to make sure he was as defensive as he could be. That was still accurate and made sense. As far as a rebounding rating goes, he averages 7.7 rebounds per game. In college, Jason Tatum averaged 7.2 rebounds per game. And then when he came to the pros in his first year as an NBA player, he only averaged 5 rebounds a game. Today, it's over 9 boards per game, so he's obviously improved as a rebounder. But 2K only has him as an 85 defensive rebound. So I felt like 85 would be too much to be accurate to Cooper. I gave him an 80 defensive rebound, plus most of his rebounds are on the defensive side of the ball. He actually ranks higher as a defensive rebounder than he does as an overall total rebounder, meaning he doesn't get a ton of offensive boards. We went with an 80 speed, and we used the rest of the attributes to give him a higher free throw, which I wanted to give him at least a 78 because he does have about an 80-something percent free throw percentage. And then I put the rest on offensive rebound. Sorry, I went with an 80 free throw. So an 80 free throw, I put the rest on offensive rebound. And there's your Cooper Flagg build. He gets a really good name for him and comparisons to Scottie Pippen and Paul George, which I think is really accurate, especially the Scottie Pippen comp. And he gets the name Versatile Defender. Now, again, if you start messing with the cap breakers, I think it will change his name. Of course, you don't have to let his name be changed if you don't want to accept that change. Going back, though, the other version I made, let's see, a couple Swiss Army knives, a few versatile defenders here. The other version I made that I think is more 2K friendly. Again, 6'10", 207, 7'3", same measurements. I dropped his layup from an 80 to a 70 just because I don't feel a big difference from 70 to 80 free throw. Okay. I wanted to use the same 5 cap breakers for driving dunk. I wanted to use 3 cap breakers on his mid-range to get the 87 mid-range. That way we're upgrading his shifty shooter from bronze to silver because he does do some shot creating. I just felt like it was a little high. Again, Jason Tatum has an 85 mid-range right now. An 85 mid-range Jason Tatum right now. This is way higher than Cooper Flagg. He's not as good of a mid-range scorer as Jason Tatum, right? So this is too high. But 87 does give you that silver shifty shooter. It is 2K. It's a video game. You're trying to have fun and be effective. So anyway, we went with an 87 with this build, and that does give you that KD go-to shot, which I love because it gives you that quick first step to get past defenders with. On this one, though, we had to settle for a 78 pass accuracy, exact same defense. Again, 5 cap breakers going onto your block. More athleticism on this one, and I did give him an 85 post control, so you can go to an 86 post control. That gives him silver unpluckable, which I kind of want to be able to run point with this build, and so that 86 post control, giving him that silver unpluckable, I think is a really nice touch. Plus, it gives him more post game and it gives him a higher post fade phenom. So that's the more 2K friendly version of Cooper Flagg. Let me know which one you like the best. Also, let me know if you think I should make one of these builds. I wanted to be able to do videos about builds that could be made or I would make without actually spending the money on every single build I think of, because I play around in the builder a whole lot. Plus, I like Cooper Flagg, and I'm really thinking about making this build. I want to make a 6'10", but I don't know if I want to make them just like this. So don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. I got about 97% of my viewers right now are not subscribed. The sub is much appreciated. Trying to get to 1,000 subs as soon as possible to get monetized and be able to do more of these videos. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. God bless as always, and I'll catch you on the next upload.